out of all the Stephen King books that I have read so far, and I have read a decent amount. I mean, Revival is the book where I'm wondering, like, why, how, huh? This book has no justification to exist. This book is just, and I'm not trying to be harsh, folks. This book has no business being around. Okay, there's no justification for this book. It's just my opinion. This book is a drag. This book is a chore. This book is just meandering and yapping. Don't get me wrong. There are exceptions. There are good moments in this book. There are good scenes. There are sentences and paragraphs that are written in a beautiful way. But overall, this book is just, just walking uphill, and just once you arrive at the summit, you're just like, well, that was a fucking waste of time, right? To me, Revival is 95% just this boomer nostalgia trip. Okay, boomer nostalgia trip. Which is disguised as an actual story, an actual narrative with actual characters. The beginning of this book is interesting. Where the introduction of our main characters is just so perfectly done, absolute genius, and you're just like, oh boy, it's gonna go crazy. We meet this little boy, he meets this preacher, and we meet his family, and then we slowly find out that his family has undergone certain tragedies, etc. And you're just like, oh boy, here we go, This is gonna go wild. It doesn't. It doesn't at all. Afterwards, after the time skip happens, most of this book is just nostalgia about remember the good old times with Lynyrd Skynyrd and Bob Dylan. It's just this meandering, yapping, nonsense, gibberish. Okay, and of course, the addiction, and oh boy, and our protagonist. He's a musician and he has addictions. And finally, after decades and decades of just going from one place to another and just getting, wasted and fueling his addiction, finally he reacquaints himself with this priest who has suffered a lot of tragedies himself. And you think finally, oh boy, these two have finally met. The kid is now an adult, and the priest that was in his prime is now an old man. And you think, oh boy, something they're at least they're going to have a meaningful conversation at least, but it doesn't happen, not really. And of course, the main thing of this book is that this former preacher, he has tapped into something called secret electricity, and he has experimented for decades, improving his craft, because he was a believer in God, and his wife and child died in a tragic accident, and when that happened, he lost his faith in God, and he went balls deep into science, pure logic, and his secret electricity. Okay. And it kind of is insinuated that he is trying, to resurrect his wife and child with this secret electricity, which seems impossible because the bodies are dust by now, or B, it seems that he wants answers. He wants to understand what happens after death. To me, it seems like our preacher, let me see if I can find his name. It seems like Reverend Jacobs, Jacobs. Reverend Jacobs seems to me like he wants closure. He wants definitive answers to the age-old questions. What happens after death? I'm not a fan of this book at all. Okay, what I liked was the family of our other protagonist, Jamie Morton's family, and Jamie Morton's family dynamic. It was just the best part. Stephen King always delivers when it comes to characters and character development. It's just so beautiful. I wanted more from Jamie Morton's family, from his family members. They were just, all of his siblings. I think he has two or three other brothers. He has an older sister. His I even liked his parents, the mother and the father. They were interesting. His older sister unfortunately gets killed by her lover because he goes insane, and I think two of his brothers go bananas, and one of them dies from cancer. And they have such a wholesome dynamic. You just feel like you're a family member living with them. So I wanted more. I wanted more from Jamie Morton's family. It was just so good. And unfortunately, Stephen King is a bit of a cheapskate in this book when it comes to the family. After Jamie Morton goes through his time skip, we don't really find out a lot about his family. We find out about his siblings. Unfortunately, we don't really find out a lot about his parents, which are also good characters, and especially his father. To me, Jamie Morton's father is extremely pushed aside, right? We don't really find out a lot about him after a certain point, which is unfortunate. So all the nostalgia and all the boomer fetishes, if you want to call it that, we're gonna push that all of aside, and we're gonna go straight to the center of all of this. We're gonna attack the throat instantly. Listen, the last 10 or so pages of this thin novel are what counts. The last 10 or so pages of this book are what matters. The last 10 or so pages of this book are it. The rest doesn't really matter. And I would say this: no reader wants to toil through 300 plus pages to finally get something good at the end of it. Okay, so you have to go through 300 plus pages to finally enjoy yourself for about 10 pages. That is unacceptable to me. As a reader, that is absolutely unacceptable. These last 2 pages, which are absolutely amazing, do not justify the rest of this book. It does not justify it. I don't care what anybody says. 95% of this book is just a chore. It is a toil. It is just so, come on, bro. Let's go. Let's go. In the last pages, the last 10 pages or so, the former Reverend Jacobs finally applies his secret electricity, and he brings somebody back from the dead. Somebody who has consented to be brought back from the dead. And he really animates a corpse who has just died. And it's basically, just another Frankenstein experiment. And I thought, okay, he's gonna bring this person to life, and this person will tell us what it's like after death. Unfortunately, this is not what happens. This person that has been brought back from the dead, because of this secret electricity, mutates, I would guess, transforms, transmutes to some sort of creature, entity, Lovecraftian eldritch abomination with one eye, swollen head, a tongue made out of arms. I mean, this is so trippy. This was truly the highlight of this book. Jamie Morton and Reverend Jacobs, they find out what happens after death. They find out that there is an afterlife because this being that they resurrected, or I should say they summoned, they conjured from the dead through this corpse with secret electricity, this creature shows them what the afterlife is like. They are being, I don't know, transported to the afterlife as tourists. So the afterlife in this book is, I don't know, everybody is naked. They are being herded like cattle. There are gigantic, I don't know, monstrous faces in the sky, and all of these naked people are being herded like animals by giant ants. Okay? That's right. You thought that you were gonna meet angels in the afterlife. You thought that maybe you're gonna meet your relatives in the afterlife. You thought that the afterlife was gonna be some sort of party. No, in the afterlife, you're gonna meet giant ants and they're gonna whip you into shape. Okay? So bizarre. Okay, so bizarre. I don't know why Stephen King decided on this, but it was truly just, it was captivating. A bit goofy with the ants, of course, a bit goofy, but I was captivated. I was fascinated. Okay. And it's just so, because when you read something like this, of course, the questions are this: why? How? Huh? Right? Giant ants, herding naked people, and the naked people, I guess, are being eaten by the gigantic eldritch entities, right? And, and I don't understand why the person, this woman that was resurrected, I don't understand why she mutated into this, I don't know, one-eyed cyclops balloon, and her tongue is made out of hands and people, and in the tongue that is comprised of hands and people, I think they see, Jamie sees his sister and maybe his mother who are dead, and Reverend Jacobs maybe sees his wife and boy who died in an accident, and they are like, oh boy, this place is terrible, right? So that's it. That is the revelation, and Jamie somehow kills this monster with a handgun, and for some reason, inexplicable, of course, the body that has mutated to this grotesque entity, turns back to a normal person, and I'm just like, what is this? Is this magic? What is this secret electricity? Of course, we are dealing with powers and forces beyond mere human comprehension. I understand that. Of course, but it's just so, it's just, this is the problem. Of course, this is the problem. Not a single question is answered at all. Not a single question is answered. Maybe we're getting a little subtle hint, but even that hint is just, you can throw it away. Okay, so in the end, we find out that, Jamie Morton killed this thing. Reverend Jacobs died of a heart attack because it was just so, it was too much. His heart just couldn't handle all of these revelations, and he died from a heart attack, which was unfortunate. I wanted something more from Reverend Jacobs. He was a disappointment. And then we find out that after this event, this eldritch event, we find out that Jamie Morton is in a, let's not call it an asylum, a psychiatric haven of some sort, where he where he talks with psychologists, therapists, but it obviously is obvious that the treatment isn't really helping him to the fullest because it seems that Jamie Morton has been accursed, uh, touched by evil, has been has been has been stained by a stigmata of the metaphysical. Should I say more? This entity that they conjured through a corpse with secret electricity, it seems like she is called the mother. Okay? She is called the mother, and she comes through a door. Okay? Okay, it's so vague. And it seems like this mother is haunting Jamie Morton telepathically. Okay, this is just what I have deduced, folks. For some reason, Jamie Morton is, and this is what he says in the book, he thinks that he is the key to open the metaphysical door through which the mother can come into this dimension. And because he is the key, the mother keeps tormenting him. Jamie hears voices in his head, whatever. And I'm just like, bro, you gotta give some answers, okay? To me, listen, there is a fine line between showing and telling. To me, as a reader, you cannot be this vague about everything. Show, don't tell. Not a single question is answered. We don't even get hints of an answer. That is unacceptable to me. Okay? And of course, we find out that all the other people, the sick people that have been allegedly healed by Reverend Jacob's secret electricity, hundreds of people, they all went berserk. They all, killed themselves or killed other people, or they have gone insane. And Jamie is the only one who is still relatively sane, right? And that's about it. Listen, this book makes a lot of promises. I was led to believe that, oh boy, okay, listen. Reverend Jacobs, oh boy, with this secret electricity, things are gonna go wild. It's gonna be something dark and overly sinister. And he is playing with powers that he cannot understand, and it's gonna go south real quick. And I genuinely thought that, all these people that he has healed, something grotesque is gonna happen to them. They're gonna be possessed. They're gonna change. They're gonna, something, a Frankensteinian, something. I thought that this secret electricity was gonna be more than just healing people. The people have side effects, and in the end, they just, conjure some sort of monster through a corpse. That's not enough. Okay, I was, my imagination led me to believe wrongly that Reverend Jacob, he's gonna toy with things that are gonna lead to some crazy shit. I thought he was gonna open a portal. I thought that he was gonna go through dimensions and maybe raise the dead, or I don't know, something crazy. It just didn't happen. Revival did not deliver. Okay, and to demonstrate how terrible this book is, I can tell you at least 10 other ways that this book could have gone, 10 other routes, and they would have been better. And I'm not saying that I'm, of course, on par with Stephen King, but goddamn, This book was just a hassle. And the only good thing that it had going for it was this what if? What is Reverend Jacobs gonna do with this secret electricity? What's gonna happen? What are we dealing with here? This is sinister. Okay? What is this door that they keep talking about? They keep, people have visions of this door and the mother and these ants, and you're just like, oh boy, we're in for a joyride. It isn't so. It isn't so. This book, the last 10 pages, unfortunately, do not justify the rest of this book. It is unfortunate, but that's about it. If you enjoy this content, if you want to support your boy, I got a few books on Amazon. The link will be down below. If the link does not work, you can search my name on Amazon, Griffith Samsara. Thanks for watching. See ya.